Oh, come on, come to daddy. I did not do this on purpose. That's just where it fell. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and whoo, San Diego is a harsh mistress. Lots of old friends, lots of new friends. It's kind of like, it's a family reunion. You may not like everybody, but there's a lot of people to like. All while surrounded by a huge pop culture show. I mean, it's so big. It wasn't until, what, Saturday that I made it to the other end of the convention hall. Now, there were a lot of action figure announcements. There was a lot of debuts, a lot of pre-orders going up, but I'm not going to cover that this week because last week we covered that in our semi-annual Two Guys in a Hotel Room talking about toys. We covered the Marvel Legends there, we covered the little bit of Star Wars, the Mattel, the McFarlane, the Masters of the Universe, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We just hit the bullet points, you know what I mean? This week's weekly is actually a lot of stuff that we didn't catch during that. I mean, even with the barrage of San Diego Comic-Con, there's still stuff to talk about. Ooh, it's an amazing hobby. Like we talked about the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the booth at San Diego Comic-Con, like Toon Slash, or the Head Brothers, Metal and Leather, along with the lighter skin tone Turtles, April O'Neil, Casey Jones. Ooh, I can't wait for that one. But in the midst of all that craziness, NECA actually solicited singles for their video game Turtles in Time figures, which consists of Donatello, because he's the best turtle, of course, and Leonardo, along with a foot soldier, and then video game version of Slash. The Turtles themselves seem to be about the same figures that we got in the pack from San Diego a couple of years ago, or a while back, whenever that was. And now they come with hoverboards, and that's the same for the foot soldier. And then when it comes to Slash, I mean, it's mother effing Slash. $23 a piece, or how much is the whole set? All four for $87 from our good buddies at Dorkside Toys. And that has a release date of November. Now, coming out of San Diego, I'm going to mention this a lot. I mean, even though we're not going to talk about a lot of stuff from San Diego was last week, so I mean, everything revolves around San Diego. But while I was there, I didn't hear about a Hasbro Transformers Siege pack coming to Target, only to come home and be like, oh, what the hell is this? Come to find out, Target has an exclusive pack of the Rainmakers. Why do I want these so much? I went into this line wanting to keep with G1, wanting to keep with the figures I know, the characters I know. I wanted the 3 Seekers, maybe the 3 Coneheads, but this, I know it's G1. Before you come in and said, well, those came from G1. I know that, but their appearance was so, small that it didn't really register until I saw this pack and went, oh, yes. I was fine without them. Then Hasbro comes around the street corner and is like, hey, you want some of these? The set includes the Storm triplets, Acid, Ion, and Nova, and the set is even packaged in the way the picture looks whenever you Google G1 Rainmakers. It's kind of a cool homage to that appearance in the cartoon. That's just nifty. Now, admittedly, they are a little bit plain. They could probably use some red on the wings to break it up a little bit, but they are so painfully reminiscent of their appearance in the cartoon. What you doing to me, Hasbro? $80 at Target, and it seems people are finding them right now. Not at my Target. Never at my Target. Sticking with Transformers Siege for a moment, you may have heard about a little bitty thing, just a little itty bitty tiny thing called Unicron? Revealed as Hasbro's latest HasLab project, when I first saw it I thought, nope, too big, too expensive, too crazy. I mean, it's $575 and requires 8,000 backers to get produced. That is a $4.6 million Kickstarter. Now, I understand people's gripes about a company like big ol' Hasbro wanting to crowdfund a project like this. But at the same time, you have to think, even the corporate bigwigs are like, man, $4.6 million is a lot to drop in the hopes that people buy it. Doing this, it's guaranteed sales. They make it, they ship it, they're done. Plus, with the demise of Toys R Us, who else is gonna carry a box this big? That all ran through my head though, and I had to look at it and go, I can't do this. So, $575, 8,000 backers, it's running for the next 26 days. if you want in on it, you better grab it. In other news, as I was wandering through the Hasbro booth last week at San Diego Comic-Con, I ran across this big display of the HasLab Transformers Siege Unicron. You thought I was done? Well, we ain't done, baby. Nope. I thought I was out, and then I saw this big bastard in person, and there I was, fogging up the glass, just kind of, oh my god. Pictures just do not do this thing justice. You have to see it in person, in both forms. Very, very impressive. I mean, one of them is a big spiky death ball with teeth, but at the same time, it's a big spiky death ball with teeth. At 27 inches tall, that is bigger than my Toys Alliance MAS Optimus Prime and Megatron. And Megatron's big enough to fall off the top shelf the other night and wake up everyone in the house. He went all back together. Those are damn good figures. We're talking about Unicron. Being this big, I'm going to give Unicron a room of his own and then not bug him when he doesn't pay rent. I'm just going to be like, everything okay in here, Mr. Unicron? Okay, bye-bye. The back of the legs look a little bit convoluted, I'll admit it, but I'm not going to be staring at the back of his legs. I'm going to be looking at the front. I just, backed. I had to do it. I had to put in my hat for this. I mean, I can't pass on it. I passed on the Cell Barge because I don't do 3 3/4 inch. I'm passing on Cookie Monster because I wasn't into a lot of those shows when I was a kid for whatever reason. I somehow missed those, even though Veebs is pretty damn excited about Cookie Monster. But I feel like a project like this only comes around every so often, if not once in my lifetime. I'm getting old. It still has a ways to go with just at 2,000 backers, and like I said, how many days? I just said it a minute ago. Oh, 36 days. It's gonna be an uphill battle, but for those of us who want the Unicron, I guess we just keep on fighting up that hill, with the hopes that a flatbed trailer will be backing up to my house early 2021 with a big box that I'm gonna need help with to even unload. Plunderlings! I love these things. I've been back and forth with the creator for a while now, and man, I just want some to space out in my shelves. They're gonna pop up in my Star Wars, they're gonna pop up in my Marvel Legends, just everywhere. They just look like cute, little, fun action figures. Well, I say little, I was sent new pictures of these things, and it says 4 inches, so they're not so little. They're small, but they're not little. The Berserker line consists of Gobbler and Spurt, both with unique accessories like weapons and hats, along with alternate heads and hands. And then there is the Raider line with Gank and, yep, the blue one here is called Fwoosh. God dang, I love these. The Raiders contain accessories unique from the Berserkers, so you can mix and match. You're gonna need both, but there's also a reason for both of them being green and blue. That's because with one assortment you get pants, the other assortment you don't. Now, I hear that the Kickstarter is right around the corner. They're planning, they're still getting it ramped up, and there will be other colors available there in either stretch goals or however, because I need a red, and I need a violet, I need a green, and I especially need a blue for the desk whenever we get the podcast going. Hasbro sent out new promotional shots for some of the Marvel Legends that are hitting right now. This new trend of bombarding us with pretty pictures over and over, on one hand is cool because, oh, I get to see what I'm going to get and all this, but on the other hand, it's kind of numbing when we actually get the figures and it feels like we've seen this thing 500 times before. Not that it's not exciting to get actual plastic, but you know what I mean. But that may be just for those of us who sit in here and stare at Marvel Legends pictures all day like, what's next? I need to know. I do it, you do it, you do it. You do it, we all do it. Birds do it, bees do it. Currently trickling out, shipping right now, is the X-Force Legends Wendigo wave with Boom Boom, who I can't help looking at as kind of, ooh, does it have some Aura Singh customizing potential there? But that's along with getting a Boom Boom for our ever-growing X-Force shelf. And that's along with Cannonball. I know what you're thinking. Legs. I'm currently in mad scientist mode trying to figure something out, working some stuff. I know a lot of you are too. I mean, I like the blast, but I like options too, and I understand where they were going with this. It's just, I'll fix it myself. Cool. Guardian, who lost some of his metallic red along the way, but I'll be damned if he doesn't come with the best non-Batman Batman head that I've ever seen. Jimmy Hudson ain't happy. Mr. Sinister is looking, all sinister. No, we need some nasty boys to go along with him. We need More. Nightcrawler, I actually got to play with the Nightcrawler at San Diego. It prepared my soul for this offering from the toy gods. Man, it got hot in here. What the hell is going on? Some don't care for the avalanche of Wolverines we've been seeing lately. It's Wolverine. We've always, when a toy company has a chance to make Wolverines, they're gonna make Wolverines. And I didn't, or did I? I don't know. So many Wolverines that I don't remember if I had an X-Force version. But you know what? I'll take it. Give me all the flavors. All the flavors of Logan. Logan flavor. Okay, we're getting... No. I also know some people do not care for the Wendigo head that comes on the Build-A-Figure. And that's okay. That's preference. And you're allowed to not like stuff. Me, I think it's because it's ugly. I think it's because it's weird that I like it so much. It's just kind of off-putting. It's what... It's Wendigo. And then some oddball promotional shots like the 80th anniversary Iron Man that is hitting right now. I'm not too down with the Alex Ross nose look, even though it makes perfect sense to put it there. It's just the flat against your face thing, with the eyes being where they are, the nose has to go somewhere. So it makes sense, but I like comic book sense, you know? The rest of it though, I'm all over it. I cannot wait. Also in the promo pack was the Target exclusive 2-pack of the Iron Family, Man and Spider. Initial thoughts on the unmasked Peter Parker head. I didn't like it in promotional shots. And then we come back to the promotional shots and it looks off again. I don't know what's happening here. Maybe it's dependent on... Yeah, I'm gonna need that too. And then finally some new images of the Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends Emma Frost, which we've already seen from overseas vendors already, and Danny Moonstar. I don't feel it's completely comic accurate to put Danny and Wolfsbane and Karma all on the same body, all in the same costume, but I can understand why they did it, and I'll be damned if I'm not buying 3 of them. I fully expect to see a new Mutants mail pack in the near future. Lots of Hasbro talk out of San Diego Comic-Con, but in one spot where they fell short was in the Star Wars department. Sure, the helmet's cool, sure seeing the the Dagobah Luke that won the fan poll in preliminary sculpting is exciting. I can't wait for that figure, but nothing else was shown. I mean, I understand because Disney's like, nope, we're gonna save that movie hop for closer to the movie release. I understand that, but man, going to that Star Wars panel was just like, oh. But Bandai, watching from across the globe, saw, oh wait, y'all want some 6-inch Star Wars figures? Let's put out magazine scans for the SH Figuarts The Force Awakens Han Solo and The Last Jedi Crate Luke Skywalker. Both are among the plethora yup, we're getting vocabulary today. Plethora of prototype figures that we've seen at overseas shows throughout the years that have not been solicited yet. It does my heart good to see a couple of them finally make it closer to release. It gives me hope for a lot of the other stuff that we've seen. Han looks to be an excellent upgrade to the Black Series Old Man Han we already have, which is definitely showing its age at this point. Now, I know the magazine scan doesn't look great. It looks, I think it's because of the scan itself. It looks grainy and all that. I'm pretty sure that the actual prototype and promotional pictures that we eventually see will look more like the prototype we've seen at those shows. In other words, this should be damn amazing. Seems to come with his blaster and then holster options for either empty or the blaster in it, so they don't have to actually make a working holster. Probably a couple sets of hands, and then it maybe a trademark Bandai SH Figuarts looky to the left or righty head. I only say that because the box with the close-up head in it on the Luke scan, that's actually a different head. Is it the same on both? I don't know. We'll just have to see. Speaking of the Luke figure, say what you will about The Last Jedi, and you will. No, I'm perfectly good with people hating the movie. I am. I really am. It's just that when those people jump into Star Wars reviews that have nothing to do with The Last Jedi, just to comment on how much they hate The Last Jedi, that... I don't know. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're going to take a look at this amazing, awesome figure of Chopper. I wish I could enjoy it, but The Last Jedi sucks! But even if you hate The Last Jedi, you have to admit that Great Luke looks like the natural progression of Luke's costume. In any headcanon or what you think of. It has the Episode 6 stylings, with some Episode 4 wraps, with some prequel Jedi-type robe stuff going on. It looks like a mix. It looks like what you would think Luke would look like when he gets that old. I like this look. I wanted a figure of this. Again, the scan looks bad, but if you go back to the original prototypes shown at shows, it actually looks fantastic. If it's nearly as good as the other Last Jedi Luke we already got from SH Figuarts, then this is going to be a hell of a figure. Unless you hate The Last Jedi. Then skip! Comes with the usual lightsaber setup, a hilt with the blade, a hilt that hangs on the belt, no blade, probably several sets of hands, and then 2 heads. And look! The 2 heads look different! Oh, Bandai, you're spoiling us. Oh, we don't know what to do after this. Neither have been solicited yet, but it should be very, very soon, what with the first of the month creeping up on us. Around $60 and set to release in December, right around all that episode 9 hype. Last week, Medicom threw their own shindig, showing off a lot of Mafex prototypes. You're getting cocky, Medicom. Usually you only show 1 or 2. Maybe more because this is your own show, or you've upped your quality control, you know it, and you're just like, here you go. We're just gonna give it all to you. And that's along with experimenting with new materials, but we'll get to that. They showed both a Mira and Black Manta from Aquaman, which, I don't know, seems a little bit late, but at the same time, this has become Medicom's MO, where they kind of wait a bit. They want to make sure all the details are at least close to being accurate before releasing the figure, and then you're like, oh, those other companies were using some preliminary art. Medicom actually used the movie. So they're not up on the hype train, but at the same time, people will look this way because it's more accurate than what we got before. It may be a bit before these are actually solicited, though, because they haven't even been painted or anything. And with Medicom, you just never know when the pre-orders are going to go up. Same with Chucky from Child's Play, who you'll notice has soft goods overalls while having sculpted base body, but that's still in gray. I don't know, this whole cloth thing, I need to have something in hand to find out how good it actually is. Those are all cool, but what really came out swinging was the Dark Knight Returns Batman. The Mafex Hush Batman came in, blacked your right eye, and then this Batman comes in, pops you in the left. Oh, it's not over either, because at the show they were also displaying a Mafex Into the Spider-Verse Miles and Peter, and they look amazing. If Batman, and then Batman, this one, knocked you on your ass. Again, the mixed media, the cloth clothes, the sculpted plastic base body. We saw it with the Michael Jordan figure, and we thought, oh, that's going to be a cool one-off thing, see how that goes. But they're apparently going whole hog with it. I know Medicom has experience with this in the Real Action Heroes line, but I don't collect 12-inch. I don't know anything about those, so this will be an interesting experiment. But I looked at those in the morning, I thought, oh, those are cool. Who knows when they'll get solicited, I'll get them later. And then Medicom turned around and put them up for pre-order fairly quickly. At least a couple of them, or 3. You know, we'll talk about them. These Batman picks might as well be surrounded by comic book panel frames because, oh, they just stepped right out of the comic book. It's amazing what this thing looks like. The poses nail it. The look nails it. The colors, the sculpt, just everything about it. The cape looks awesome. It's gonna be all around and stuff, and it even comes with a hand for the Batarang knuckles and then 2 alternate heads. I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. You're not Batman, but you can join our support group. Around $70, set to release around May 2020, give or take. Somewhere in there. Miles, like I talked about, has an assortment of actual cloth clothes, and the options are phenomenal. Hood up, hood down, hoodie on, hoodie off, shorts, no shorts, swappable feet with either the sneakers or tights. 4 different heads, 2 masked heads with different eyes, a half masked and then fully unmasked. Webs, hands, excellent sculpting that looks, well, like I talked about with Batman walking straight out of the comic page. Miles here essentially walks right off the screen. This right here, this is the Miles we've been waiting for. $70 with an ETA of June. Now, I've said that twice now because as much as Mafex has improved their quality control, their release dates are still a little bit slippery. It's usually a couple of months behind, which is okay. That's cool. Hey, as long as the figure's good, I'll wait. Unfortunately, Peter wasn't solicited along with Miles, but as a consolation prize, we get the Mafex comic-painted comic book styled Spider-Man. This is pretty much the same figure we just got, well, it is the same figure we just got in the comic line, but with a little brighter blue, a little brighter red, and then a shading on the figure that makes it look like it was inked in a comic book. At first I was like, this isn't gonna fit in my display, and I already have one, who knows. But then I eased into kind of well, it's an awesome effect. Maybe it'll be off to the side by itself as a standalone figure. But then I quickly went to, oh my god, this is amazing. I gotta pre-order it. Now I want Venom in the same style. I want Deadpool in the same style. Even though I already have a Deadpool and Venom's right around the corner, I'll buy them again if they're in this crazy looking style. I may need some professional help. But you know what? We already know this figure is spectacular. But getting it in this unique paint style, I'm down. $70, and it should drop in December of this year, or shortly after. And that's it for this week. Another long list of playthings that'll strain your bank account and relationships and the amount of food in your cupboard, and you just never know what's gonna happen to your loved ones or significant others. Speaking of. Honey? Honey! Did my car just get repossessed? As always, these pictures and probably more that wasn't even featured in here will be on the Foosh front page tomorrow at noon. Noon-ish. Somewhere in there. Just in case you want a better look at something, or I was all... I'm heading to another Comic-Con next week, so the schedule's still gonna be a little bit off. If a review pops up Friday, you know I'm gone. And then we'll come back around, and we'll meet up again, and we'll talk about toys. A wonderful day for a neighbor. Either way, if you enjoyed this Foosh Weekly, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on that Foosh.